Welcome back to Conversations with Co-op Bank. I'm your host, Akira Patterson, and if you're familiar with us here at Conversations with Co-op Bank, you know we are all about taking financial topics and making it very digestible so you will be able to make informed decisions when it comes to your personal as well as business banking. Again, this podcast is all about increasing your literacy to ensure that you know how to transact from a financial space with confidence and that you'll be making smart decisions when it comes to your money and money management. So if this is the first time that you are joining us, feel free to check out our previous episodes where we spoke about a wealth of topics touching digital as well as money management and boosting your business efficiency, all available for you. Again, this is a very interactive podcast, so we encourage you to send your questions. Talk to us. It's not just Conversations with Co-op Bank, but it's also conversations with you, helping you to make better decisions. So the official email for feedback is feedback@grenadacoopbank.com. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you and tune in so that you can hear your concerns or questions addressed right here on Conversations with Co-op Bank. Today, we are going to be speaking on a topic that's very interesting when it comes to managing your money, managing your personal finances, and how digital platforms such as e-banking platforms can assist you in budgeting and managing all of your transactions so that when you get paid, it's not just you get paid, you have money, but how do you manage that to see where your money is going? So this is definitely a conversation that rings true to me and to, I'm sure, a bunch of you as well. So stay tuned. Remember, you are looking at Conversations with Co-op Bank. Joining us for this conversation is Ms. Tamara Seals, and she is the Electronic Services Administrative Officer at Co-op Bank. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Such a pleasure to have you. And thank you for giving up your time, your knowledge, and your expertise to help the audience and myself really become more au fait with e-banking platforms in particular and how that will really assist in managing money going forward. So let's jump right into the discussion. For me, having access to my mobile app is always great because when you think of when you get money and how fast sometimes it goes, oftentimes I will hear my friends say, or even people all the time just absent-mindedly mention, sometimes they're afraid to get paid because when they get paid, they have the rush that they have money and then they see the money just going and disappearing. But with online platforms and especially with e-banking, talk to us a little bit about how e-banking and, electronic banking specifically, how it assists really with managing your money from a month to month or even from a week to week basis.
Right. So our e-banking platform, first of all, let me say that it's safe, it's secure, it's simple, and it's easy to maneuver, right? With the platform, we have something that's called alerts. So once your salary, for example, hits the account, you will get an alert to say, well, a deposit was credited to your account.
Right.
Right? When it comes to managing your money now, we have the feature where you can pay your bills online. So it means no long lines to stand in, and then you can just pay your bills from the convenience of your home.
Beautiful.
You can also schedule your payments. So, at the end of each month, I have a bill to pay. So I would schedule the payments so I don't have to hurt my head anymore.
And what are some examples of these types of bills that people could schedule for convenience? Because off the top of my head, I'm thinking rent. You could definitely schedule rent because it's due every month.
Right. So you can schedule rent. You can add your landlord as a payee. We have the peer-to-peer option. We also have the electronic funds option. So you can either pay a peer, schedule that, or you can set up a template to do the electronic funds transfer to your landlord. Now, with the electronic funds transfer, you can do it to another bank in Grenada or even the Eastern Caribbean. So it means if you're in St. Lucia and you want to pay your rent from your core bank account, you can do so using the electronic funds transfer option.
That's so beautiful and very convenient. And all of that is easily accessible through the mobile app.
Yes, it is.
Beautiful. Absolutely love that. You said something there and it rung, so true to me, because sometimes you think, okay, how do I avoid having to go to this utility service provider? How do I
Right.
have to, how do I avoid having to go here? Because it's the opportunity cost of the time it takes to
Right. So
really go in
it
store.
saves you time. So
Yeah.
the utilities, we have all the utility company on board with us. So we have Grenada, Flow, Nawasa. Simple and easy, right?
Beautiful.
So you just check your bill and you go onto the platform and pay your bill right there and then.
Lovely. So that's for the different utility companies. And you also mentioned in terms of peer-to-peer transfer. And that's something that I really want to talk about, because when I first started using my app for peer-to-peer transfers, it blew my mind just in terms of the convenience of it. And I do want to say, though, that as time progressed and using it more often, I realized that it was less information that was required to add a pair. So it's
Right.
even more convenient for people. Take us through that process of how we would add a pair just to kind of facilitate that peer-to-peer transfer for different people.
Okay, so once you sign on, be it the app or the website, you would go to the services option and you would select peer-to-peer. There you can add your peer. So you would just need the person's name and the account number. You must ensure that you have the correct account number,
Right.
right? So you don't want to mess up there.
Yes, and
Because
send
you
it to
can
the wrong
easily
account.
transfer to a different account.
Right, so
right?
verify.
So you must ensure that you have the person's correct name and their account number.
Okay.
Once you input that in all the fields, you would receive an alert with a security code to complete the process of paying the peer.
Okay. Thinking about, the progression of banking and just really putting this in a broader perspective, just thinking about the convenience and how it allows people to be able to just add a pair. And even for small businesses, I can see that this could be a very good advantage for a lot of even businesses, cottage industries, people that are making different craft items and stuff. Sometimes you're walking around, you want to get something and you don't have cash. So you can send a transaction. I'm thinking to myself, just off the top of my head, how often I would use it for, let's say, a birthday cake. You're ordering something, you can send the money, probably your landscaper, you can send the money. But what do you realize from where you sit in terms of the uptake and people's willingness to use? And is it tracking? Is it growing in terms of like peer payments and using the e-banking for these purposes?
Yeah, yes, definitely. The customers are really engaging with the platform. Peer-to-peer is something very easy. So you would find people calling to find out, how it says that we add a peer, and you just walk them through the simple steps and it's a go for them.
They're good to go there
Yeah.
after. Yeah, I mean, walk on the convenient side of life. For me, like the more convenient, the better. And I know that once people have the information, they will choose the more convenient option, especially to if it's safe and they have that sort of reassurance.
Yes.
So we've spoken about the peer-to-peer in terms of that being a key feature of the mobile app, the e-banking app, whichever device you choose to access it through, because it looks the same on desktop and computer and laptop as well.
It's basically the same.
Right.
There's a few slight changes with the desktop,
Yeah.
but it's basically the same
Yeah.
features on both platforms.
So the peer-to-peer transfer is quite convenient for people and easily accessible through the e-banking platforms. Take us through some of the additional services and features that's probably the quickest ones and most convenient to people's lives when you're using the e-banking platforms.
Okay, so we have the secure messaging option, right?
Right.
So let's say you were to be traveling today and you forgot to call the bank or even come in to see us. You can just send a secure message to alert us that you're traveling to whichever country it is and you would want to use your debit card or so, right? Once you do that, we will receive it and we will act upon it once received.
Yeah, I have to speak for the secure messaging one because that's one that I use all the time. Sometimes you think, okay, I have to do this or that, and you're in the midst of doing it, and it's like, oh, I have to travel, but I forgot to tell the bank, and you're already at the airport, or probably you even left the country already, and you're in transit. Once you have access to the internet, then you're able to log in, you're able to, have access so that you can send that secure message. And I feel like it gives a further level of confidence to people using it because you have to be able to have access to your app and go through the authentications in order for you to be able to even send the secure message. So from the bank's perspective, you definitely know, okay, this is the account holder.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
Right.
even safer.
So we try to ask you to select your password, something that is hard for someone to guess. Also, when you're answering your security questions, we ask that you choose an answer that someone that is close to
Won't
you
guess.
won't be able to
Yeah,
guess.
yeah. So not
Right?
like your middle name or something that
Right.
somebody would be
So
easy.
one of the questions we have is, who's your favorite athlete? Now we're in the Caribbean, and the first thing that comes to mind is maybe Kirani James
Right,
or Usain Bolt. So you
right.
kind of want to stay away from that because it's easy to guess.
Yeah, I'm thinking so. And even for males, I'm thinking it will be very predictable because if you ask about athletes or I just need to know your football club and I just need to know if you're a Ronaldo or Messi fan and put it in, and most likely it
Exactly.
might be one of them. So anything that's not that easy to guess about you. I like that in terms of choosing the questions. In your experience, from where you sit, how do these digital tools, especially through, e-banking, really assist people in managing money, in budgeting and ensuring that, you're making conscious decisions about where your money is actually going?
So from the time you log in, you are able to see your balances, right? So you know this is how much I have to spend at any given time, right? If it is that you have several accounts with us, you can always transfer to your savings account. So you know this is what I'm putting away for this
Right.
month,
And
right?
these transfers are instantaneous.
Yes, it's instant,
Okay.
unless you schedule it, but it's
Right.
instant.
Yeah. Yeah. So that could help in terms of like, okay, where you're spending what and some of the automatic transfers that you will do, which you
Right.
referenced earlier. How else do you see e-banking really helping, empower people? Let's say, for example, you're a young person, you're getting a paycheck, you have a certain amount of money. Yes, you have those spendings, that's, an obligation. But then outside of that, you have some disposable income. You want to
Right.
have fun, you still want to enjoy yourself, but maybe you want to save a little bit as well. How are they able to empower themselves through the app to really assist them with managing their
All right. So
finances?
as mentioned before, the balances are right there for you to see, right? One of our features is that you have the option to transfer only to the account. So it means that you can't take from the account, right? So if it is, you want to save a certain amount to a different account, we can set it up in a way that you can only transfer funds to the account, right? If you want to withdraw from that account for any given reason, you will have to contact us for us to put on the feature for you to withdraw from the account.
Right. So that's an additional step in the discipline as well that really works and comes into play. And I know we've been speaking in terms of personal empowerment from an individual standpoint, managing your personal finances, but through, electronic banking as well, there's a lot of conveniences that are extended to business operators
Right.
as well. So I know in terms of the technology and the progression that there are tools that's available to help businesses manage their money, maybe even issuing payrolls, etc. What are some of the solutions that are proposed through e-banking to assist businesses with that sort of money management?
The e-banking platform for the businesses, it allows you to to transfer funds to different accounts. You can utilize the electronic funds transfer option and the wire transfer option if you have to pay customers or suppliers, or for whatever reason you have to pay
Right.
someone,
And
right?
even in different territories, you can do
Right.
the wire
You can
transfer.
do the wire transfer to any international bank, right? As it relates to paying your employees, there's something separate from the e-banking platform, and that's the Profit Star platform, right?
Okay.
So you would just contact the bank and say, let us know that you want to sign up for Profit Star, and there we would walk you through the steps as to how to navigate the page,
Right.
and we take it from there.
So essentially, it's another way of using electronic means to really help streamline some of these business operations so that, and I know payroll is probably a copious thing that a
Yes.
lot of businesses have to deal with, especially when you have several employees. So automating that
Right.
could be very good. And in terms of managing cash flow, that further helps with the business in terms of managing their finances, etc.
Yes.
So, I mean, thank you so much. It's a wealth of knowledge in terms of what can be done for really managing your money from a personal standpoint, and even going further to see what are the additional innovations that would help businesses as well be able to manage money and manage finances. So before we wrap up and go into my favorite segments of conversations with Co-Bank, which is the rapid fire, are there any tips, any additional information that you want to give to our audience so that they will know and become more comfortable? If you're already using the app like me and you're fine, you're great. But
Right.
what can you do to be even more comfortable using the app? And if you're not familiar with it, how can you really just navigate easily?
So I would say start small. So the first thing you'll do is sign up, right? Just give it a try. Sign up and try something. You can try sending us a secure message,
Right.
right? Even if it's just you saying test in the message, we will receive it.
Yes.
Or you can try paying a peer. So you can try paying me and just put $1, right?
Yeah.
Just to test it out.
And see what that is
Yeah.
like. Yeah, I remember my first pair transfer. It was actually for a birthday cake. I was getting a birthday cake for a friend of mine, and I wasn't even the one that initiated. It was the merchant. Like, he literally said, "You have co-op? You have e-banking?" That's literally what he said. "You have co-op? You have e-banking?" And I'm like, "Yes, I do. I have e-banking." He's like, "Add me as a pair and transfer the money." And I was like, "Okay, how do I do that?" And he actually walked me through the
Yeah,
process.
it's pretty simple.
Very simple. And since then, there is absolutely no going back. So it's definitely convenient, and looking at the safety precautions and the security that you have to go through, even with the biometric scans for your
Right.
face, to go in. And I doubt anybody could replicate my face. I mean, even twins, maybe,
There's
but
a
maybe
slight
not.
difference.
There's a slight difference still. So
Yeah.
you still have that added layer of the protection and all of, the different security features that you can use, like the alerts, etc., to ensure that you know what's going on. So it's definitely something that I would encourage people to use more. Just test it out, as you said, with probably like $1, $2,
Yeah,
and
just
see how
test
it
it
goes.
out. Just give it a try.
Right. So it's about that time when we get into one of my favorite features of conversations with Co-op Bank. It is the this or that rapid fire segment. So I'll be proposing you, based on what we would have spoken about, I'll be proposing you with some options, and you'll let me know from your perspective and of course from your expertise what's the best option. So first of all, mobile app or website? What's your preference, and then what would you advise?
Mobile app.
Mobile app.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's on the go.
It's on the go. You
The
have
phone
the
is in your
phone in
hand.
your hand, you just sign on.
And you use it one time. Same here. Real-time alerts or monthly statements?
Definitely real-time alerts.
For sure. I want to know when money is coming in, if it's mine, if I can spend it, and
Exactly, and
when
when
it's
it's
going
going
out.
out.
For sure. Biometric login, so with your face or fingerprint, or traditional password?
I would say biometric.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
for me, it's convenient and faster.
Yes, it is.
Love that. Instant notifications or email alerts?
Instant.
Instant.
Yes.
I think instant as well for me, because it comes to my phone, and again,
Right,
its
it
access is
comes-
right here. And even though in the email, I would see the email come, sometimes I get the text first.
Yeah.
Yeah. And lastly, automated bill pay or manual payments?
For me,
Yes.
it's manual,
It's
right?
manual.
It's manual because I would have my template set up and all of that.
Okay.
But it's totally up to you.
Yeah.
You can automate it. You can schedule your payments. Totally up to you.
I feel like for that one, it's probably a balance of both, best of both worlds. Because for me, I do manual, and some I do automatic.
Right.
Because I know, okay, every month this is a reoccurring expense, or every 2 weeks is a reoccurring expense, and you can pay it like that. Yeah.
Right. It's definitely your choice.
Your choice. I love that. And with that said, your choice. Thank you again for, giving up your time, your expertise, and really helping us and walking through the app. I think sometimes when you have options that's made available, it's just a matter of people knowing so that they can take advantage and really use it. The
Yes.
convenience, and especially knowing the safety and the security of it all. So thank you for giving up your time
You're
to
welcome.
come here and chat on Conversations with Core Bank and share your expertise with us.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, you're welcome. Thank you all once again for joining us for another episode of Conversations with Co-op Bank. It is such a pleasure delving into these financial topics with you, giving you information that will help you to make wise decisions and become even more financially savvy. Remember, this is a conversation not just with Co-op Bank, but also with you. So we encourage you, if you hear anything, if we touch on any topics that will help you, help a friend, or help your business, or help a friend's business, feel free to email us your questions, your concerns, your follow-up via the official email for the podcast, which is feedback@grenadacoopbank.com, or feel free to call the bank. Find out, ask, and take a personal responsibility for your money management. Stay tuned for next episodes as we continue bringing you information that's going to help empower you in your financial decisions, whether it be personal or business. See you on another episode of Conversations with Co-op Bank.